Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello everybody, welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host. And I want to thank Dope over on Dope Comics channel for mentioning my channel and answering my questions about spiders. Yeah, you need to check him out. That's Dope_Comics with an X. He's crazy. I love him. And he is a nut for pre-code horror. So, okay, here we are. And this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and then examine the stories and the art. And what I want to look at today comes from 1992, Dark Horse Comics, publishing John Byrne's Next Men, number 3. John Byrne's Next Men, number 3, 1992, from Dark Horse Comics. The Next Men is an American comic from Dark Horse, created by John Byrne. And the run, this initial run anyway, was from 1991 to 1995. Then IDW published a 9-issue miniseries in 2010 and 2011. And another one titled Aftermath in 2012. And kind of the premise is with a secret alien being, Project Next Men is initiated by the U.S. government with the goal of creating superhumans. And this also gets into some racist stuff, but I'm not going to get into that. And they are from orphan babies given up for adoption, and the children were experimental subjects and raised to maturity in a Matrix-like environment, living in a virtual world. 5 subjects woke up and escaped the project. And I guess John Byrne had originally pitched the concept to DC Comics, but it never came off. And then with some alterations, it was picked up by Dark Horse. And this is actually the only issue that I've got, that I know of offhand, of the issues. I've got somewhere a trade paperback reprinting several issues in the storyline. And this is just a little bit after John Byrne's height in popularity. It was his popularity was kind of supplanted by a few others, such as Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane, and others who wound up going away to create Image Comics. But he was still very popular, and I guess he still is, and he's doing other things now, I guess. Well, it's... Let's step into the bizarre world of the Next Men. And here we are. You can see that cover Better view of that cover. John Byrne's Next Men. Very dynamic and dramatic. And of course, this is John Byrne's take on a more realistic view of superheroes, in which they're not actually superheroes; they're just superpowered beings involved in some massive conspiracy stuff. And this is more mature. The violence and is more graphic. There's definitely killing going on, and it is much more graphic. And they have adult words in it. And of course, John Byrne, he's very, very popular in through the 80s. And remember, he got started way back when in the early to mid 70s at Charlton. Charlton was a great place for artists to get their start before bounding to better things. Because Charlton, as a publisher, didn't really care that much, and they paid less. And so it was a good place for people to get their start, to get as a springboard to the better paying jobs. But they also published a lot of mainstays who worked for them for decades, who were well-established professionals, and they produced a lot of good material. But I'm rambling off on that now, because John Byrne really got his start there on a feature he co-created, was ROG 2000, a backup in E-Man, a backup story in E-Man. But there's a tongue-in-cheek, humorous adventure about a robot, which I covered here before, and went on to do other things there at Charlton, including Space 1999, which I intend to cover sometime, and Doomsday Plus One, which is waiting in the wings in a few weeks, and various other appearances before he got leaped over to Marvel and got in with the X-Men, where he became really popular, and then created Alpha Flight and did that for a time, and did some Fantastic Four stuff along in there. I think that was more in the later 80s, and somewhere along in there, I can't remember off the top of my head, before jumping over to DC, where with working on the Legends miniseries and the Superman reboot, and eventually doing a stint on Wonder Woman. And of course, then he did his Next Men, and he bopped back to Marvel, doing some Namor the Submariner, which I like and don't like because of some of the changes, but I like this art and storytelling. And it had some good stories. Of course, along in there he had She-Hulk, and you name it. And then there in the 2000s, he has done some. He did an Angel, a Vampire with a Soul miniseries. The spinoff from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and he's done some Star Trek stuff. And Fumetti material, which is using computers to create comics utilizing still photographs from existing Star Trek property. So as well as having done some regular Star Trek straight comic stuff, and I don't know what else. Of course, a lot of personal commissions, I'm sure. Okay, we'll have a little look here because some great artwork here, and it's called Kill Factor. Okay, and this is issue 3, but it's actually the fourth issue, because it started with issue 0, and This is after these genetically engineered super beings have broken out. They don't understand the world. They don't know how to use their powers, and they're basically the powers of Superman broken up among various individuals. And like this guy here, he's the strongman. He's the one that's got the super strength. Of course, the powers are much lower level than Superman's, but like one has these goggly eyes in their virtual world, their matrix-like virtual world. They are just appear to normal human beings, and having whatever adventures they're doing in their virtual world until they wake up. When they wake up, they find out that these powers have altered some of them, their physical makeup. Of course, this guy, he's super strong. The young lady we will meet here is invulnerable. Well, she can use that invulnerability as a weapon, just because she is invulnerable. But she has no super strength or endurance or anything else. There's the one who has the super speed, who can run really fast. He has these massively deformed thigh muscles, and the one with the supervision powers has big goggly froggy looking eyes, and which was strange to them because they just looked normal to themselves in their virtual world. And now they're basically on the run and trying to get back together and stuff. And this is it, right? Of course, it's in the middle of a storyline because it was all one overall story. Kill factor. And here's the young lady. She's the one with the invulnerability. She has been pursued, and she stops in at this horrid biker super dive bar, and they quickly assault her because she comes in looking for help, and of course that's the last thing she's going to get there. Throw her on the pool table to recreate a scene from a Jodie Foster movie. Okay, and you can see here, like in the background, Byrne is a master at doing backgrounds, or rather implied detail in backgrounds, because he puts a lot of real detail and then a lot of implied detail. Some artists do less of the implied and more of the very time-consuming, intricate detail, often more than is necessary to tell the story. This is in this bar, and they're about to assault this lady. This is the bar owner, and he's undoing his pants. He's about, because she doesn't understand anything. He's making references and stuff. They just don't understand. She just recently got these clothes because it looks like clothes from the jail or something, and they think she's busted out of jail, and they take her pants off, and even the lady is mocking her. And so while here you can clearly see he is performing the act. I don't want to use the word here, but that has bad impact. Now I don't know if you can see it very clearly here, because every time I have this scene of extreme violence like this, it does this all red, which makes it difficult to see the detail in here. But she fights back, and she claws at his face, makes a swipe at his face. Remember, she's invulnerable, and that nearly rips his face off, and that pisses him off so bad he starts pounding and pounding and pounding on her. Then he's startled when there's no bruises, no blood, nothing. He hasn't hurt her in the least. And then she fights back again, just plunging her hand through his chest, because again, she's invulnerable. So, like I said, the violence is extremely graphic, and then you can really see everyone's horrified reactions to that. Plops the body off to the side. She gets up and takes off. So this guy tries to grab her by her hair, but her hair is like very thin strands of incredibly strong wire, and she just keeps pulling, and that cuts right through his fingers, cuts his fingers right off. Again, you can see, and the graphic nature. Crashes through the window, looking for refuge to climb the fence here, but she can't get away. They catch her. Says nothing hurts her. It's like she's some kind of witch or something. Oh, you know what they used to do to witches. So we're going to burn her, get her an acetylene torch. I'm going to burn her. Then the scene changes. What's this? Superhero smashing in through Action Max to save the lady. Pounds out very, very Kirby-ish. Although it's clearly John Byrne's own style, but very Kirby-ish. And it turns out it is a page from a comic book. The other character is Daniel, I think his name is. He's the, I can't remember which one he is. I think he's the one who runs fast. And someone has been helping him, and he found this comic book in the car, a comic book character, and he doesn't understand that it's fiction. He wants to find this character, Action Max. That's it. Oh, so this guy who's helping him kind of indulges him, and so okay, they're getting a place in a motel to stay. Meanwhile, we change scenes again to a hospital, and here's this doctor who says, "I leave you in charge for one day while I go to a seminar in Prescott, and what do I find when I come back? Yada yada yada." All this stuff going on, and he even gets the lady's name wrong. He said, "Margaret. My name is Margaret, not Alice." Nice Eisner-esque pacing there, and here she says, "And you did that. Prescott was weeks ago. This guy has obviously got some mental. This doctor in charge obviously has some mental issues. Because no one knew. He hasn't shown up to work for days, and he doesn't know what's going on. And so says, oh, this I ordered that sedative drip for that one patient because it's too much. It's enough to kill a horse." He says, "No, you've got to. For that one patient." He canceled it, and so she goes in. Here's the guy, orderly watching. Says, "Oh, it's been the doctor did that." So she starts to creep in, but we see the guy here hiding around the corner, and she slips in and he grabs her in the dark and tosses her aside. When then the orderly gets in, turns on the light. Oh, okay, there's the big guy. He's the one with the super strength, and he is just desperate because they had him sedated because he was violent and a danger, which proved here because he broke the guy's neck. Also, oh my gosh, you killed him. And that startles the lady in another room, who is another ongoing character. She's the one that's been helping them. And she's also been in there. She creeps over and goes, "Oh no! Stop, John! Jack, stop it! Enemy drugged me. Ask questions. Stop! You don't understand." And then she gets him to stop, and they steal the doctor's clothes so she can put them on herself, and they sneak out and get away. Meanwhile, here's the guy who is helping them. If anything else goes wrong, the guy who's been helping him has been kind of... He's been working for the bad guys. And one of the others finds out he's going to... And he slips in and... No, don't hurt him. He's my friend. He's been helping me. Then we cut scene again. Here is a plane in flight. It says, "Oh, Mr. Vice President, a call for you on the emergency channel, sir." "Okay, I'll take it here." Kabalooey! Dun, dun, dun. It's just very episodic. Skipping all over the place. So you need multiple issues to actually get an overall view of what's going on. The vice president has just been killed. They're all being betrayed. Someone's helping them. Yada, yada, yada. It's hard to keep track in just this one issue, but that's what we've got. Some great artwork. I think it's some good storytelling. I would like to have seen more focused on one storyline in the issue, and then slip over to another storyline, another plot thread in another issue, so that you can get more of a complete story in one issue. That's my preference. Others may not agree with that, because it's definitely long form storytelling, and I'm not necessarily a big fan of long form storytelling when it's such a huge overarching storyline over dozens of issues. I'd rather see it broken up into several arcs, something that's easier to jump into and follow, because there's very little to follow with this one issue. Okay, that's what I've got for John Byrne's The Next Men. Thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Remember, comics are art.